Parker.
Yeah, I know. I did. I was
We were getting
trying
that fight
to
on.
roll me straight in. I was like, oh, what's going on? But yeah, no, I think I've got at least one more at British level. Because there's still some good fights to be had here, and I don't need to just run off into the international scene straight away. Like it's nothing. It's always going to be there. So if I can get some good domestic fights off as well while I'm still here, then I will. I'm not shy from them at all. They're some of the best ones, so I like them. So we can still mix around and do them.
So just one more before we let you go. Another thing that's quite unusual about this is that lots of boxing's kind of big houses are all coming together under one roof, hands across the water, which we don't normally see, but it's good, isn't it? Because this is what we need. We need more of, because it does seem to me that in the UK anyway, in recent times, things have got fractured to the point where it's been quite unhelpful.
Listen, this is what boxing needs, but don't get it wrong. They're not doing this out of any goodwill. The one reason this is happening is the one reason only: money. Eddie Hunt and Frank Warren together, hugging and kissing, shaking hands. Money.
Well, it's happening. It's happening, and that's.
I've just lost my job. It's been nice knowing you all.
Well, before you get yourself in any more trouble, we'll let you go. We'll let you go. Andy, always good to see you. Cheers. Very much looking forward to that fight between Deontay Wilder and Joseph Parker. As we said at the beginning, that's the one that kind of, leaps off the page at you. We are expected to get going behind us fairly shortly. There's a lot of people to get up onto that top table. Our MC Dev Sardi there, just looking very pensive, sat in the middle. This is not a straightforward job for him. He did sterling work out in Saudi Arabia, so there's plenty of people to get into position. Deontay Wilder arrived a while ago. I haven't really seen him backstage, but
I heard a bomb squad midway through that. Did you?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did.
So I thought, he's in the building then. He's arrived.
I think Anthony Joshua wasn't in the building quite as early as Deontay Wilder, but Dev Sardi, I think is poised and ready to go. So let's hand over to our Master of Ceremonies for the press conference, Dev Sardi.
Turn the music. Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us here today for today's groundbreaking press conference. We've got a huge event in Riyadh on December the 23rd, and we're now going to welcome to the stage some of the stars involved in this huge event. Let's first welcome heavyweight contender Junior Farr. All right, let's keep it moving as we wait for Junior Farr. Let's welcome to the stage two-time European heavyweight champion, Ajit Kabayal. All right. Let's welcome up to the stage the IBF World Cruiserweight Champion, Jai Opataya. All right, now let's welcome to the stage the IBO World Light Heavyweight Champion, Lyndon Arthur. All right, now let's welcome to the stage the WBA World Light Heavyweight Champion, Dimitri Bivol. All right, now let's welcome to the stage heavyweight contender Junior Farr. All right, on to our next heavyweight contender. Let's welcome Mark Damori. All right, now let's bring to the stage another heavyweight IBF mandatory world heavyweight title challenger, Filip Hrgović. All right, now let's welcome to the stage one of the hardest working promoters out there of Salita Promotions, Dimitri Salita. Let's now welcome to the stage the former WBA heavyweight champion, Daniel Dynamite Dubois. All right, now let's welcome to the stage his opponent on December 23rd from America, Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Okay, another heavyweight contender. Let's please welcome to the stage Otto Wallin. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome to the stage the former WBO World Heavyweight Champion, Joseph Parker. Okay, let's now welcome to the stage longtime boxing manager and indeed the manager of Deontay Wilder, Shelley Finkel.
Hey, I hate him.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now let's welcome to the stage the WBO European Cruiserweight Champion, Ellis Zorro.
You too. You're from New York? Where?
Manhattan, Brooklyn originally.
Okay.
I know you're not.
Yeah, I stay in Manhattan. I'm from Sweden, but I stay in...
Now let's welcome to the stage the chairman of Matchroom Boxing, Eddie Hearn.
MSG.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Very well. Yeah.
How about you?
Upper East Side, 88th Street.
Okay.
But
Oh, right, you're right.
been my whole life in Brooklyn and Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. It's great.
Okay, well that's Eddie Hearn. Now let's welcome to the stage Hall of Fame boxing promoter, Frank Warren.
It's on my grandkids are there all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not bonbon.
Yes, exactly,
Nice.
yes.
Yeah, do you like it?
Love
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. I'm gonna start when you start the presentation, I'll do. All right, pal. He's making noise, isn't he?
Hello, Frank. All right, now let's welcome to the stage the former two-time unified world heavyweight champion. Please welcome Anthony Joshua.
I know Jolene about 30 years. Very, and you know, the Doovers, Lou was my partner when I started my first fighters. I had 5 '84 Olympians, 4 became champions. It was Mildred Taylor.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's welcome to the stage the former long-reigning WBC World Heavyweight Champion, Deontay Wilder. Okay, full table here. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining us around the world. You are very welcome for today's monumental press conference. Before we begin, there is a very special individual here, over there to my right, over there to your left, the chairman of the General Entertainment Authority of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh, who would like to say a few words.
The beginning, not the beginning, the next, the number 2 step after the 28th of October, when the opening of Riyadh season ceremony after the battles. When Frank Warner, my friends, said from former of the road, it's game changer, it seems, it is game changer. We focus in Riyadh season on the vision of the Crown Prince God blessing 2030 for the country to deliver to the fans of boxing all around the world great fight and great day. For that, I hope in 2024 to see great fight for Riyadh season and Riyadh calendar. We want to see Joshua Wilder, we want to see Bubble and the Chechenian star, and we want to see Herbridge, we want to see all the stars and in good fight. We're focused to deliver this if they help us. And I thank all the 12 promoters who was with us today for everything, and I am happy to be here. And please help us to deliver to the market good fight, because I am fan and you are all fans and around the world. The last thing, in this day, we will try to deliver it to the people with good price in the platform, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Well, for boxing fans who have been following the rumours the last few days, we've got great news. It's true. Look at this top table. On December 23rd, there is a day of reckoning in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to continue Riyadh season. A huge night coming up. A galaxy of stars, world champions, contenders will all descend upon the Kingdom Arena in Saudi Arabia, the second boxing event of this Riyadh season, and we cannot wait for this one. The co-main events, the return of the former two-time unified world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, taking on Sweden's tricky tall southpaw Otto Wallin, and in co-main event status, the return of the long-reigning, hard-hitting former WBC world heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder, taking on former WBO world heavyweight champion, the reignited Joseph Parker. But as you can see from this top table here, there's so much more than that. There's so many fights here that could just headline their own event. top to bottom, this may be the most talent-laden, strongest card ever put on in the history of boxing. That is what we're dealing with here. It's December 23rd. It's the second boxing event of Riyadh season, and it's in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Well, this historic fight card will be presented to fans worldwide by the General Entertainment Authority of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in conjunction with Frank Warren's Queensberry, the NEC, Gold Star Promotions and Seller. And on behalf of Queensberry, we would like to say what a privilege it is to be working again on such an incredible night as we continue this year's Riyadh season. And we'd like to express our heartfelt thanks to His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman. And our thanks to His Excellency, the Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Turki Al Sheikh. And of course, a huge thanks to all of the teams at the GEA, Riyadh season and Seller as we continue to work together to deliver special nights in the Kingdom. Very shortly, we'll be hearing from each of these superstars up here on the top table. But before we begin, I'd just like to take a moment to discuss our wonderful hosts on December 23rd. And Riyadh season has simply become one of the most anticipated global events of the year. People travel from all over the world to come and have a look at what's going on in Riyadh season. There's more than 12 zones, each offering very unique experiences. There's live concerts, sporting events, some of the best fine dining out there. And of course, we commenced Riyadh season this year with the Battle of the Baddest. Just a few weeks ago, we saw world heavyweight champion Tyson Fury take on lineal MMA heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou in an event that the world has been talking about for weeks and weeks and will be talking about for decades and decades to come. For those who have already had the privilege of visiting Riyadh, you will know that there is something very magical in the Saudi Arabian air. And for those who are going to go, well, something very special awaits you. This event on December 23rd is everything that Riyadh season is about. It's big time. Let's bring in Hall of Fame boxing promoter to kick things off, Frank Warren. At the start of the relationship with His Excellency, you talked about what a game changer this was going to be. I think boxing fans watching this around the world will look at this top table, look at some of the people on here together at the same time, and they would have to agree with you. Tell us how this event came together. It looks like an awful lot of hard work.
It was, but just before we do that, I'd like to thank His Royal Highness, and I would like to thank His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh for making this event, which is in the Riyadh season, possible for which will showcase the best in boxing, along with the General Entertainment Authority of Saudi Arabia. Another person I would like to personally thank for opening the door to this huge opportunity for boxing is the Gypsy King, the #1 heavyweight in the world, Tyson Fury. A big thank you to all the Team Seller, led by Dr. Rakan. Spencer Brown's Gold Star Promotions, our team at Queensberry, for putting this all together under a huge pressures to get 16 fight contracts for these type of fights together and done quickly is really, really hard, and it takes an incredible amount of work and dedication to do it. I thank you all. In addition to this historical moment for world boxing, all under the vision of His Excellency, 16 fighters across all of these fights, in addition to the Queensberry and Gold Star and the 12 co-promoters in this event. This is historical. It is a game changer. And you know what changed the game? The first fight we did opening Riyadh season. That was the key to the door. That has changed the whole face of boxing, and this could be the norm, and I believe it will be the norm. We're going to see these great fights. We're seeing people, all like-minded, working together now. We're all working together to make these fights happen. And you know why we're doing it? We're doing it for the fans, because they're the ones who count. These are great fights. These are the fights that the world wants to see, and we will be delivering them on a regular basis. And it's all down to this man sitting up there. His vision has made this happen. Make no bones about it. He has made this happen, and we're delighted to all be a part of it. And I think I speak for all of us from that perspective. It's just a fantastic situation for boxing to be into. and it's going to be, as I said, a game changer.
Just on that, Frank, I mean, we were there in Riyadh a few weeks ago, certainly an experience I will never forget. Is Riyadh becoming the home of big-time boxing? That's what it feels like.
Well, it is. I mean, it's a new destination, and it will be. There's no doubt about it. There's big commitment for fights to happen in the future. It's been shown just within a course of a few weeks what's been put together here and what happened prior to that. There is a huge commitment, and that is brilliant for the sport. You know, boxing's a fantastic sport. It's one of the best sports in the world. You know, for me, it is the best sport in the world, and it's got some of the best athletes in the world, if not the best. It's the most dramatic sport of all of them. And these fights that everybody's been driving me mad about, Eddie mad about, you know, all the promoters along here saying, why isn't this not happening? They're going to happen. They will happen now. And that is going to be just something special.
Thank you very much, Frank. We'll come back to you for various fighters that you've got involved. Let's start talking to the fighters involved in some of these fights. Let's talk about some of these fights. Let's begin with, there's an unbeaten Cuban heavyweight Frank Sanchez takes on Commonwealth Games bronze medalist New Zealand's heavyweight giant Junior Farr. The fight is brought to you for Riyadh season by the NEC, the General Entertainment Authority, Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, Gold Star Promotions, Sella and DiBella Entertainment. Now we're going to start with Junior Farr, as Frank Sanchez can't be with us. Junior, a big moment to shine, a big stage for you, big opportunity. Tell us what's going on in the mind of Junior Farr.
In the mind of Junior Farr. Well, tell you what, first of all, this is just a great opportunity that I have to really showcase my skills and just to be on this massive stat card, probably the best card that the world has ever seen. So I'm taking the opportunity with both hands. Frank Sanchez is a great fighter, great technical heavyweight contender. I know what I'm in for, and I'm there to basically steal the night and just put on the performance of my lifetime. That's what I'm planning to do.
Well, Junior, look, Frank Sanchez isn't here, but I'm sure with the rest of the world, he is watching this press conference. Do you have a message for Frank Sanchez?
What's up, bro? Just, yeah, train hard. I'll see you December 23rd.
Thank you very much, Junior. Nice message as well. Let's continue with another very intriguing heavyweight fight between two unbeaten heavyweights. Unbeaten Russian giant Arslanbek Makhmudov, a very scary-looking man, is taking on two-time European heavyweight champion Agit Kabayel. Agit Kabayel is here, but Makhmudov is not here. So we're going to speak to Kabayel. Agit, it feels like you have been on the cusp of big fights, linked to big fights for quite a while now, and now you've got the chance on a huge stage to go and make a name for yourself. Talk to us.
First about, thank you for the hospitality. My English is not perfect. I hope you understand. Yes, it's a big opponent. I'm ready for the 23 December. This is a very big opponent and very good organization. I'm happy and I'm ready.
And this Makhmudov guy, I saw him box a couple of weeks ago in Riyadh. He's a scary-looking guy. He made a lot of. He made quite an impression. Did he make an impression on you when you watched him?
Yes, I watched the fight. It's a very good opponent. I say this is a very aggressive guy. Yes, this fight was a very good fight. Maybe this is two guys with a zero, not lose. And I hope this fight was a very two tough guys.
And if he's watching this, anything you want to say to him? Do you have a message?
I have a message for Makhmudov. Yes, Makhmudov, I hope you train good and we will see on 23 December in Saudi Arabia. I'm ready.
Okay, thank you very much. Agit Kabayel, cracking fight coming up, two unbeaten heavyweights, December 23rd. Let's continue with a clash of two unbeaten cruiserweights. The IBF and Ring Magazine champion from Australia, Jai Opataya, takes on Britain's unbeaten Ellis Sorrow. This fight is brought to you for Riyadh season by the NEC, the General Entertainment Authority, Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, Gold Star Promotions and Sella, in association with Matchroom Boxing and Tasman Fighters. And at this point, for the first time, I'm going to bring in promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie, this is quite surreal. I didn't think I'd be at a top table asking you questions, but the world of boxing keeps moving, and here we are. You've got a few fighters on this show. Anthony, of course, who we'll come to later, but Dimitri Bivol, Jai Opetaia, big opportunity for them to maybe set up things for the future.
Yeah, firstly, Dev, thank you. It is surreal. I think it shows you the vision and the strength and the plans of His Excellency. Thank you very much for asking our fighters to be part of this incredible event. I think Frank touched on it earlier, collaboration. We all want the sport of boxing to grow. We have our rivalries, we're competitive, but we also want the best opportunities for our fighters. And we'll come on to AJ later, but for Dimitri Bivol, the number 175-pounder in the world, and Jai Opetaia, the best cruiserweight in the world, this was an opportunity to be part of something very special. I've never seen a card come together at speed like this, and thank you to, of course, His Excellency, but also to George Warren, to Spencer, and the teams at Queensberry and Matchroom that work very quickly to make these fights happen. And it just shows you when you want to make fights, when you have a vision, when it is in the best interest of the fighters, we can get it done. So I think it's refreshing to see the change, perhaps, in the way boxing works here today. And I think the event on December 23rd is the best event I've ever seen in the sport of boxing. So firstly, when you talk about Jai Opetaia, he came over recently in his, which unfortunately for Jordan Thompson has to be called a demolition job. I think it was a performance that grabbed the attention of the UK fans, the global fans. A shout out to Mick Francis, who has worked tirelessly in the career of Jai Opetaia to get him to where he is. This opportunity for him is life-changing. Ellis Zorro's a great young undefeated fighter, but we believe Jai Opetaia is the king of the cruiserweight division. And if you haven't seen him fight yet, tune in and be part of Riyadh season on December 23rd, because this kid is very special.
Thank you, Eddie. We'll come back to you on the Dimitri Bivol fight. Frank, I'm going to bring you in here. Ellis Zorro is your man. Big opportunity for him. You've only had him for a few fights now, and here he is, right in the deep end against Jai Opetaia. Tell us about this fight.
I will do. Just before we did that, very remiss of me, I did not include our thanks to Bob Aram and Top Rank, who are also involved in the show, so apologise to them. So, listen, for Ellis, this is a massive opportunity. This is a chance you get. They come along once in a while, and he's worked very hard. He's been very diligent. He's undefeated. He can punch. There's no doubt about that. I think they're both big punchers. So I think we're going to get something a little bit special on the night between the two of them. And he knows what he's got to do to become world champion. And I'm sure Jai knows what he's got to do to keep his title, but I think we're going to get a really, really good quality fight between them.
Well, let's bring in Ellis Zorro. Frank says you know what you've got to do on December 23rd. Do you?
Yeah, this is arguably the best cruiserweight in the world at the moment, so definitely got to be on my aim game. I'm really looking forward to it. This is the biggest event I've ever been involved with and probably will ever be involved with. So yeah, I'm buzzing. I'm looking forward to it.
Have you seen things in Opetaia that you think you can exploit? Did you watch the Jordan Thompson fight? Have you seen anything in his career where you're thinking, hey, maybe I can have some success there?
Not really. I have watched his fights. He's got a good boxing IQ. Obviously, he's a southpaw. He's quick, he's powerful. Haven't really seen any loopholes in him just yet. That doesn't mean that there isn't any. But yeah, I can't focus on what he's done to other opponents. Styles make fights. So yeah, that's what it is.
So Jordan Thompson was unable to get the job done that night. Why are you different to Jordan Thompson? Why can you cause more of a problem?
Like I said, I just think styles make fights. Jordan's a lot bigger, a much bigger target than I am. And we're just different fighters, so I can't necessarily look at that and take much from that, if I'm being honest, Dev. Okay, thank you, Ellis. Let's bring in the IBF and Ring Magazine Cruiserweight World Champion, one of the best fighters out there, Jai Opetaia. Jai, it feels like, getting a stage like this, you are starting to get the rewards for years and years of hard work. Tell us how you're feeling heading into this one.
There's a big part of me that's so grateful to be a part of this card, but the other half's like, shit, I deserve to be here. I earned my spot here. And, 23rd of December, I remind them, the best cruiserweight on the planet.
Well, you beat a Brit last time out in Jordan Thompson. Do you think you can do a similar job on Ellis Zorro? Eddie Hearn referred to it as a demolition job. Can you do a similar one?
And we just got to prepare how we prepare. You know, we got to get in those trenches, train hard, and anyone that is in front of me, we got to beat. So that's it. That's all we think of.
And I'm hearing that you're going to be in the Tyson Fury camp. Is that correct? You're going to help him prepare for Alexander Usyk?
Yeah, they've reached out for sparring. You know, when that happens, it happens. But, you know, I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on 23rd of December. You know, I've got a new mission in front of me, so let's get it done.
Well, Ellis Soro's just over there, right next to you. Is there anything you want to say to him? Any message you have for him there, just sat there?
Any message I have? Nah, man, I'm just ready. 23rd of December, man, this is what I do. You know, I'll remind everyone, the king of the cruiserweight division.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Jay Opataya. Two very respectful, unbeaten cruiserweights. Let's now move to the light heavyweight division where, again, simply one of the best fighters out there, pound-for-pound star, WBA light heavyweight champion, Dimitri Bivol, takes on the IBO world champion, Britain's Lyndon King Arthur. Now, the fight is brought to you for Riyadh season by the NEC, the General Entertainment Authority, Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing, Spencer Brown's Gold Star Promotions and Seller in association with World of Boxing Promotions and Wasserman Boxing. Eddie, I'm going to come to you here first on this fight. Dimitri Bivol is someone you have long championed. Big chance for him on a big stage to really make an impression on December 23rd.
Yeah, I think Dimitri is an established pound-for-pound great in boxing. I think the job that Andrei Rybinski and Vadim Kornilov did with World of Boxing has been incredible, and it took him a long time to get his breakout fight. That came against probably, well, unquestionably at the time, the pound-for-pound number one, Saul Canelo Alvarez. The victory over him from Dimitri Bivol was...
Does that still hurt, by the way?
No, listen, you know, we were working with both, but Frank Smith, who can't be here today, is Dimitri's biggest supporter, and Vadim did a great job, and that win was iconic in boxing. A great win as well against Gilberto Ramirez last time out, some time out with injury, and now back in a great fight. I'm so pleased to see Lyndon Arthur get the opportunity. You know, this is such a great opportunity for so many British fighters, and I'm glad that it was given to Lyndon Arthur, who's, you know, you've seen him in great fights against Anthony Yard, winning and losing, and he'll give it everything with Pat Barrett and the team on December 23rd. But for Dimitri Bivol, we all know what he wants. He wants the winner of Artur Beterbiev against Callum Smith for undisputed. I'm sure that's a fight that will be discussed in due course, but Lyndon Arthur got other plans, and I think it's a great matchup.
Thank you, Eddie. Well, let's bring in Lyndon Arthur, the IBO World Light Heavyweight Champion. Lyndon, for many fans, this seemed to come out of nowhere. Did this come out of nowhere for you? Were you expecting an opportunity like this to knock on your door?
It kind of came out of nowhere, but you know, it is what it is. This is boxing, and this is what happens in boxing. You have to take these kind of opportunities when they come. So,
big stage. This, you know, you call yourself Lyndon King Arthur. You can become the king on December 23rd. What are your thoughts about this fight and about Dimitri Bivol?
Everyone knows how good Bivol is. It's no like secret. You know, we beat Canelo and stuff like that, but I have to do what I have to do, and I have to come in here and try and upset the plans that he's got for the future. So I'm excited to be a part of this big event. There's a lot of main event cards on here, fighters on here. Sorry, so I'm happy to be a part of it.
And have you seen anything in Dimitri Bivol that you can exploit?
Yeah, loads. Can't wait.
Okay, thank you, Lyndon Arthur. Let's bring in the WBA World Light Heavyweight Champion, Dimitri Bivol. It's been a while since we've seen you. We saw the fight with Canelo. We saw the brilliant fight with Gilberto Ramirez as well. And you've been away. You must be itching to get back in there.
First of all, hello, everyone. And I want to say thank you for Saudi Arabia and Turkey Al Sheikh for making this incredible event, and I'm glad to be a part of this event. What about my fight? Of course, I'm glad that I'm coming back in the ring because I'm really missed to fight. And I want to say thank you to the team of Lyndon Arthur that he took this fight. For this moment, for today, I think this is the best opponent for me in the light heavyweight division.
What have you seen of Lyndon Arthur?
I know that he has good boxing skills. He has his discipline, and he's the champion, IBO champion, world champion.
And what do you want to show the fans December 23rd? What do you want them to say about Dimitri Bivol?
Please repeat.
What will fans say about you on December 23rd?
You know, I just wanna go to the ring and show Dimitri Bivol. I wanna show boxing skills. I wanna make good fight. I wanna move forward to my goal.
Thank you very much, Dimitri. We look forward to that one. Let's continue back in the heavyweight division, where we've got an unbeaten IBF World Mandatory Challenger, Filip Hrgović, risking his status against the heavy-handed Mark Damori from Australia. This fight is brought to you for Riyadh season by the NEC, the General Entertainment Authority, Frank Warren on behalf of Queensbury Promotions, Spencer Brown's Gold Star Promotions, and Seller. Let's start with Mark Damori. Mark, you have been unbeaten in the last 6 years. It's 11 wins on the bounce. Big chance for you to shine on December 23rd.
Yeah, I've got 11 wins in a row, 10 by knockout, and I'm aware that they haven't been the same class as Filip Hrgović. I've watched his career. I'm very aware he's very talented. He hits hard. He's got a good chin. But any human being that I fight, I'm going to try and rupture his spleen. I'm going to attack his body. And I'm not going to sit on the end of his jab and try and win a 12-round fight against a guy of that height, looking for a very violent first 4 rounds. And what will be, but I'm there to try and fight, and I'm there to try and expose something. And I'm very aware he's a very good, strong fighter. I watched him, but I'm there to try. And I'm going to try in those first 4 rounds and let those hands fly and see what can happen.
What would a win for Mark Damori mean?
It completely changed my career, my life. The money you could make in a rematch, the money for the next fight, the confidence it would have in myself, in the way I could tell my kids, my grandkids, what I did with my career. That's how much respect I have for Filip Hrgović. But also I know my personality, and I know when that bell goes, respect finishes, and you want to win. It's your nature. We're all gunslingers. None of us here want to be accountants or, librarians. We're here to fight. We love it. We love the money, don't get me wrong, but we're here because we love to fight. Respect Filip, but I'll let my hands go.
All right, thank you, Mark. Let's bring in the man they call El Animal, unbeaten heavyweight contender Filip Hrgović. Filip, this is a big, big night, and you've referred to yourself as the next heavyweight champion. Is this a chance to show everyone that you are all about business?
Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank His Excellency Mr. Turkey for giving me this great opportunity. Thanks to government of Saudi Arabia to putting this great night for boxing. I'm glad to be part of that. Very excited. And I'm glad that my opponent is also very excited. So I hope so we put up good performance and give to the fans what they want to see.
Well, you are the IBF mandatory, you are next in line. Who do you want to win that fight out of Fury and Usyk, and who do you think will win that fight?
Yeah, I'm next in the line for the heavyweight championship of the world, and I'll fight the winner of Usyk against Fury, or if they vacate the title, if they want to do a rematch, I'll fight the next best ranked contender on the IBF rankings, and that will be the winner of fight Joshua against Wallin. So next year will be interesting. We'll see what will happen, but I'm looking forward to big fights.
Thank you very much, Filip. Frank, I'm just going to bring you in here. It's another fantastic, heavyweight in the mix here in Filip Hrgović, and there could be some big nights coming up for him in Riyadh. Give us your thoughts.
Look, he's got a win over Zhang, and he's in the #1 position, so he can't afford to lose this fight. He wants to get a crack at the world title. He's got to win the fight. He's very capable, undefeated, and I think it's going to be quite interesting. I think it's going to be a really interesting fight, and whatever happens next year, again, he will be involved in quality fights. There's no doubt about that. He's got to keep winning. If he keeps winning, he will get his shot at the title. No doubt about it.
Thank you, Frank. Let's keep it moving. In the heavyweight division, we've got a very, very intriguing fight here between Britain's hard-hitting former WBA heavyweight champion Daniel Dubois against America's loud, outspoken, unbeaten and brash Jarrell Big Baby Miller. This fight is brought to you for Riyadh season by the NEC, the General Entertainment Authority, Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, Spencer Brown's Gold Star Promotions and Seller in association with Salita Promotions. Now, before we speak to the fighters, let's hear from the promoters. I'll bring in one of the hardest working promoters out there in Dimitri Salita. Jarrell Miller is a guy that you have been backing for a long time now. He's right behind you there as well. Big chance to remind the world what Big Baby's about.
Thank you. First of all, we're very grateful to participate in this event, and I'm very grateful to His Excellency and to Queensberry. It's been a great honor to work with you guys. I've been saying this for a long time. Jarrell has the skills, the personality to be one of the best heavyweights in the world. This is a big step in that direction, and I believe he's going to be explosive, sensational, exciting, and victorious on December 23rd.
How do you see this fight going? Because Daniel Dubois, you know, in his last fight, he boxed Usyk. There's a lot of controversy around that fight. Jarrell Miller, I don't know if he's boxed at that level yet, but tell us how you break down this fight.
I think Daniel Dubois is a very talented fighter. He has shown that he's hungry, he has a lot of power, he wants to win, but Jarrell's tenacity, his size, his power, I believe is going to be his key to victory. And Jarrell, with an impressive victory, fits himself right in to the big fights with Anthony Joshua, the winner of Tyson Fury versus Usyk, Deontay Wilder, etc. He is an elite heavyweight, and I believe it's just a matter of time until he reestablishes himself as that, and December 23rd is a big step in that direction.
Thank you, Dimitri. We'll come back to you when we're talking about Otto Wallin. I'll bring in Frank Warren here. You are Daniel Dubois' promoter. This is Daniel's first fight since that Alexander Usyk fight, and you would be forgiven for maybe an easy touch, but in front of you, you've got a 300-pound pressure fighter who's unbeaten and coming to take Daniel's head off. Tell us your thoughts.
Look, Daniel needs a fight. He needs a tough fight. He's got to go out there and show everybody what he's about. You know, he was that much away from becoming world champion. You know, I'm not going into the controversy again, but you know he can punch. And there's been some doubters out there. We believe in him. He believes in himself. So he's got to get out there now and show what he's all about. He's a young man. And this is, you know, at the end of the day, you know, and with the greatest respect to all you fellas, you know, a lot of them are getting older. He's a young guy. He's got a big opportunity here to on this stage to show that he can do it and what he's all about. And I've got faith in him to do it. And obviously you're going to speak to him yourself and ask him. But he cannot afford now to slip up. This is it. This is his big moment in time, and we're going to find out what Daniel Dubois is all about.
Thank you, Frank. Well, let's bring in Jarrell Big Baby Miller. We are going to find out what Daniel Dubois is all about on December 23rd. Are we going to find out what you're all about?
First of all, I want to say, you know, we got to wake this crowd up. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Brother Turkey, for putting on this event. Frank Warren, George, for working diligently behind the scene and making it happen. Brother Spencer Brown, for really putting this together. And thank you, Daniel Dubois, for being the dummy to sign the contract, because I'm going to beat your ass. Listen, man, proof is in the pudding. When I talk that shit, but I back it up. Every time. So whether it's kickboxing or boxing, I'm going in there and I'm going to rip his head off. You know, there's a saying we have in New York. I mean, if you don't like vulgarness, cover your ear. We smell bitch in him. And once the bitch is in you, it ain't going nowhere. He quit against Joy Joyce. He got beat up and knocked out by a jab by Usyk, and those are small guys. I mean, Joy Joyce is big, but he ain't big baby big. So I'm telling you something, when you find a mean guy like me that's throwing 80 punches around, got a good chin, don't quit, come forward, I'm kicking his ass, and I'm sending him to early retirement, plain and simple.
Okay, well let's
Ask your mama too.
let's actually bring in Daniel Dubois here. Daniel, you've just heard a lot of comments there. He says he's going to kick your ass. He's talked about doing all sorts of things to you on December 23rd. How does that sound?
Excited for it, you know. This is it, big time boxing, baby. I want to chop that tree down, and that's what I'm planning to do.
Jarrell, what do you think of Daniel Dubois?
Man. If shit had a twin, it'd be his face. It's plain and simple. I mean, listen, bro. Like I said before, we could talk the talk and walk the walk. I talk and I back it up. Like I said, I think his new trainer put the battery in his back, try to motivate him to get in there with the likes of me. You know what I mean? He was scared to fight Joseph Parker. I heard Joseph Parker move too much for him, so he don't want to chase him around. So he thought because I'm inactive, he going to fight a big guy like me. But I come forward, and I'm just mean, hungry. And like I said before, there's nothing he's going to do to me that's going to bother me. I'm going to hit him with everything in the kitchen sink, and I'm going to send him back to his trainer, and I'm going to tell him, I told you so. So listen, plain and simple, come December 23rd, I'm going to kick your stuttery ass. Watch.
Daniel, any response to that? That's
Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. I'm ready for it. I'm motivated for this fight. And, you know, after that fight and the emotions that fight stirred up in me, I'm up for it. And I want to really go
You're
to war
make
for
him
this
pay?
one. Hey?
You make him pay for it?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Good. That's what we want.
His promoter got to hype him up because he over there, he's stealing a bag of chips over there, boy. Listen, man, I'm telling you right now, man, I'm going to fry your ass. Anybody, once I kick his behind, I'm going to buy everybody fish and chips in here. Bet my word on that. And Frank, we're going to talk long term. Don't worry after I cook your boy. I feel bad for you for putting that money behind that dude. It's a wrap.
We will see.
Jarrell, I've just got one more for you because you have a kind of hostility with a number of heavyweights. I've seen recent things with Deontay Wilder. Of course, you were scheduled at one point to fight Anthony Joshua. Do you have anything to say to anyone else up here?
Oh, they can all kiss my black ass, Deontay and AJ. I don't like none of them motherfuckers, you know what I'm trying to say? But one thing I can tell you is that after I finish with Dubois, I definitely want Manuel Chark because he got that belt. Them dudes got losses, and there ain't nothing over there for them belts right now. But I tell you one thing, though, we all know for a fact that AJ don't want no smoke with Deontay.
Shut the fuck up.
And even though...
Start with me, you know.
Even though...
Yeah. Miller, don't start with me.
Even though...
You know, I'll come over there and slap you, and I see you brought your mum here again.
I kick your ass last time.
I see you brought your mum here again because you need a rent paid.
Boy, shut up. You're
Don't
not built
forget
like that. But like I was saying, we all know that AJ don't want no
clown.
smoke with Deontay. As much as I don't like Deontay, I know Deontay will put that motherfucker in the grave. So I'll make it easy for you. Either you can fight Deontay and go to the grave, or fight me and go to the hospital. Either way, you can get your ass whooped. So pick your poison. So let's stop all that talking. Take Eddie Hearn out your ass and pick somebody that really can fight. Either me or Deontay, one of us Americans whoop your ass. So stop running over your English muffin.
You are not doing nothing.
Listen, bro. You softer than baby.
You are not doing nothing to me. Watch your mouth.
You let my little cousin
Miller,
Eddie Reese
watch
beat
your
you.
mouth.
You softer than
Watch
baby
your mouth.
shit.
I'll come over
Stop
there and
running from
slap
me.
it for you.
Stop running
Watch
from
your mouth.
Deontay. Man the fuck up and fight somebody with a heartbeat, bro. Shut up.
But Daniel Dubois got to stop this. We can't have it, Daniel. Tell him you're not going to let him do this, Daniel.
Daniel, anything to say? Not right now, but we're going to keep things moving. Thank you very much, Jarrell Miller. And
You're welcome.
Joshua, we're going to start talking about your fight now as well. Of course, one of the co-main events on December 23rd pits the former two-time unified world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, not against Jarrell Miller. He is taking on
Jarrell Miller.
Otto Wallin.
Man, kiss my black ass.
But I do think he will fight Miller one day.
You ain't my promoter to judge what I'm going to do in my career.
And he is taking on Otto Wallin on December 23rd. The fight is brought to you for Riyadh season by the NEC, the General Entertainment Authority, Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing, Frank Warren's Queensbury Promotions, Spencer Brown's Gold Star Promotions, AJ Boxing, and Seller in association with Salita Promotions. Let's bring in Dimitri Salita. Otto Wallin, your man, is in a tremendous position right now in the rankings, and he's got this chance now again against Anthony Joshua here. Tell us what you're thinking about this fight.
Well, Otto Wallin has shown his world-class ability versus his incredible fight with Tyson Fury. He stayed busy. He's been working with his excellent trainer, one of the best teachers in the game, Joey Gamache, perfecting his craft, and coming off his last win against Murad Gassib, which was very impressive. I believe that Otto has the skills, the confidence to win this big fight.
Thank you, Dimitri. Let's bring in Eddie Hearn here, Anthony Joshua's promoter. Eddie, you have been with Anthony every step of the way, and now the next fight is against a southpaw who's coming off a great win. How are you feeling about this one?
I think it's a very tough fight. I think it's a great fight. Hello to Dimitri, who, you know, fighters should know, like Otto Wallin. Dimitri Salita has been trying to land this fight for years against Anthony Joshua. After every fight that AJ's had, Dimitri phones me. What about Otto Wallin? You know, we saw him in a great fight with Tyson Fury. I think not a lot of people know even about his victory on the road against Gassiev in Russia just a few weeks ago. It was a massive win for him. We respect him. He's well schooled. He's 6'6". He's a good southpaw, but we see something different from AJ now. You know, I think the plan at the start of this year was to box 3 times. When he was unified world heavyweight champion, the politics, the mandatories led to a lot of inactivity. He boxed in April, he boxed in August, and now he boxes in December. I think, you know, and I'm definitely biased, but I believe that there's the best chapter to write yet in the story of Anthony Joshua. You know, what he's given to this sport. He sold out arenas at Wembley Stadium, Millennium Stadium, Madison Square Gardens, Riyadh before. This is his 3rd fight in Saudi Arabia. He's changed the complete face of boxing. And it's a pleasure to go back. And you know, when we had the approach from His Excellency to bring Anthony Joshua to Saudi Arabia, it was a fight and a challenge that he wants to take. He wants to become world heavyweight champion again. I believe he can do it. And I think you're going to see a destructive performance from him. And I like what I see up here at the press conference. You know, no games, no mucking around. Business on December 23rd, move forward. We know there's another great heavyweight there in Deontay Wilder. That's a massive fight to potentially bring to Saudi Arabia in 2024. Filip Hrgović down there, the IBF #1. Otto Wallin is IBF #2. This lines up everything for Anthony Joshua, one of the biggest fights of his career. And as I said, the greatest chapter in the story of Anthony Joshua yet to write. And I can't wait to see him shine on December 23rd.
Thank you very much, Eddie Hearn. Let's bring in Otto Wallin here. I mean, Otto, as Eddie mentioned there, you've got that win over Murat Gassiev, which maybe went under the radar a bit, but it was a tremendous win. Your tail must be high right now. You must have all the confidence in the world heading into this fight.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for putting on this show. It's really unbelievable what they've done in 1 week with all these fighters. This is a huge event, and I'm so happy to be part of it. So thank you very much, and thanks to Queensberry and Frank Warren that we dealt with. We got the call 1 week ago. My manager Jolene and I, we spoke about this fight. We thought it made sense. We went back and forth with Joshua's side. We came to a conclusion in 2 days maybe, and so it was an easy fight to make for us. I'm so happy. I just coming off the great win with Gassiev. It was 5-6 weeks ago now. I did not expect to fight once more this year, but this is really amazing. I'm coming off of that win. I'm in a great position. I'm a promotional free agent. I'm ranked #2 with the IBF, so I'm really on top of the world. Getting this fight, I'm so ready for it. I've been waiting for it for a long time, and I'm just so happy and blessed to be in this position.
You've boxed before in the amateurs. Anthony Joshua won that fight. You've sparred countless rounds as well. Can you take anything away from what you already learned about Anthony Joshua?
Well, I think we both have a good idea of each other. I think that I fought him when I first started boxing, pretty much. I didn't have many fights. He didn't have many fights. We fought. I lost a close decision. We fought again a couple years after, England versus Sweden. He won a close decision again. Then we sparred in 2016 before he fought Charles Martin. And I think, honestly, Joshua, he was on his way up. He's a very good fighter. He was a very good fighter at that time also. And, you know, I pretty much feel like he had his peak maybe around 2018. Joshua, he deserves a lot of respect. He's done a lot for himself. He comes from humble beginnings and really conquered the division for some time. But now I feel like he's on his way down, on his way out, and I'm going to help him with that, and I'm going to win this fight.
All right, well, let's bring in former 2-time unified world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. Anthony, you an iconic night, a historic night. You're no stranger to these sorts of nights. Tell us your feelings heading into this one.
Why isn't Eddie asking me questions? You're my promoter.
Eddie, would you like to ask Anthony a question?
Thank you. AJ, a massive moment for you, 6 weeks out.
Yep.
People talking about you've peaked, people talking about this might be...
People talking about I peaked have never even seen what a peak looks like in their whole career, so I don't know. what they're talking about, number one. Secondly, I want to thank His Highness Turkey and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for putting a phenomenal card together. And I'm looking forward to delivering my message to Otto Wallin on December 23rd.
Obviously, this time around, short notice, 3 fights in 1 year. That was the plan when we set off for 2023.
Yeah.
You're going to deliver that, and it could lead to a huge 2024. But everybody talking about future fights, just purely focused on Otto Wallin, December 23rd.
Yeah. I can't predict the future, but I know where I want to go. I know what I want to do, and I'm sticking to that plan. I set out a plan at the start of this year, and I'm sticking to that. I'm a man of my word. I stand firm on what I believe, and I believe I'm going to be 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. And my first stop to that in getting in the rankings is putting on a demolishing job against Otto Wallin.
And finally, sorry, Dev. Finally,
crack on.
Your 3rd fight in Saudi Arabia, back to Riyadh. I know every time you've been, it's been an incredible,
phenomenal
experience. Incredible Riyadh season. We saw a breathtaking production, an event with Fury against Ngannou.
Yeah.
Excited to get back to the kingdom.
100%. When my family heard we was going back to Saudi, phone started ringing off. When can we get tickets? When can we book flights? They get treated real nice when they go there. I'm focused on my fight, of course, but my whole family, my community is going to be out there. There's going to be 100 of us strong, and it's going to be a really good time to be in Saudi Arabia. So if this is the first time you're hearing it, make sure you get booked up to head out to Saudi Arabia. December 23rd, it's going to be big, and I don't think we've ever seen a card like this before.
And just definitely, finally, when we sat down in that meeting with His Excellency, just on Monday night, the vision that we saw, the passion that we saw for boxing, something that we all share.
100%. So this isn't a one-stop shop. This is what I like about the vision, is that there's a map, a roadmap with checkpoints, and I can't wait to get to the final destination. So as I said, this is my first stop, and December 23rd, I'll deliver that message, and I'll be on my way again onto the next bigger and better opportunity in 2024. I'm fully focused on this fight. I'm determined to win, and I'm determined to get back to my peak, if that's what they want to call it.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Eddie. I think all those questions I had written down here anyway, Eddie, so I think we're good. I think we covered it. Let's talk about the co-main event on December 23rd. A fight between 2 former world heavyweight champions, the long-reigning former WBC world heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder taking on former WBO world heavyweight champion Joseph Parker. Now, the fight is brought to you for Riyadh season by the NEC, the General Entertainment Authority, Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, Spencer Brown's Gold Star Promotions and Seller in association with Bomb Squad and Duco Events. Now, firstly, I'm going to bring in Shelley Finkel here, the long-time manager of Deontay Wilder. Shelley, great to have you. Fans have been crying out for the return of Deontay Wilder, and it's finally here on a big, big stage.
If anyone knows me, they know I do not speak long. My fighters do the speaking in the ring. Evander Holyfield, just before the Buster Douglas fight, said to me, "Shelley, how come you don't talk on loud like some other people?" I said, "They don't pay me for that, they pay you." And he went out and did the job with Buster Douglas. There was no reason for me to speak. This incredible card, we should all thank His Excellency for putting it together with, of course, the promoters here, Matchroom and Queensberry. When you look at what everything up here is, there's nothing I could say that would top this. So I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you very much, Shelley Finkel. Let's bring in Joseph Parker. Joseph, you had a very clear mission statement at the Battle of the Baddest at the event just a few weeks ago in Riyadh. You wanted to look good, you wanted to get the win, and you wanted to get out in December. Tick, tick, tick. Here you are. Your reward is Deontay Wilder. Tell us your thoughts.
Firstly, thank you to those involved for putting on this event. Excellency, Spencer Brown, Queensberry, trainers, Andy Lee, George Locker for the work that we've done so far, and big man Tyson Fury for all his help. And we've made a decision at the beginning of the year to keep busy, and this is the 4th fight in the year, and it's a fight that really excites me. I'm excited for this fight. You know, throughout my career, I've never went away from big fights,
and big opportunity. And this fight with Wilder, I'm ready for it. You know, I know we're here doing what we need to do, but I can't wait to get back into camp and put in work for this fight. I respect Wilder, respect Malik Scott as trainer and everything that they've done in boxing, but he is in my way. I know what I can do, and I'm here to win.
And Joseph, you have been in camps with Tyson Fury, who was preparing for Deontay Wilder. What have you taken from those camps, if anything?
You know, I rely on Andy Lee, my trainer, to give me advice and to come up with a plan, but Tyson has a lot of advice as well and knowledge on Deontay Wilder, being the person to beat him, also fighting him 3 times. So I'm going to lean on Tyson Fury in this camp.
Well, look, one of Tyson's advantages was he was just so big. He maybe 50 pounds heavier at times. What are your advantages over Deontay Wilder?
So you're going to see December 23. I feel like in my career, sort of went down a bit, but I got a spark back, you know, and I'm going to come in with a lot of movement, a lot of speed. What was that?
Lights out.
Okay.
He said lights out.
For you.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. Let's bring in Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, it's as I said to Shelley, it's been so long since we've seen you. I think we've seen about 3 minutes in a few years. You must be so ready to come back and show the world what you can do. Tell us.
It's been a journey. First off, hello everyone. It's been a journey for me. I'm very excited to be here today. What a magnificent card that we have. We have so many warriors on this card. You know, it's overwhelming to be in the same room with so many other fighters. You know, some you done had in camp, some you done competed against, and some you're looking forward to in the future to compete against. And it's just a blessing to be able to have so many promoters to come together. You know, Queensberry promotion. Matchroom, and last but not least, Your Excellency. I appreciate you guys so much, you know, and the staff and put this magnificent card together, and I'm just ready to go. You know, when people come to see heavyweight boxing, they come to see excitement, but most of all, they come to see knockouts. And one thing for sure, you know, when I come, that's what I come to deliver. You know, and come December the 23rd, I'm coming to do the same thing. I'm on the same mission, you know, to regain my title back and to unify the division. That's my main goal. I got everything I want to need in life, but to come back and to finish what I started, it's going to mean everything to me. To just put that little icing on the cake with everything else that I've accomplished, the statue that I have, and many more things that will come in the future.
What do you think of Joseph Parker? This is a fight that was talked about a few years ago when you were WBC World Champion, he was WBO World Champion. It could have been a unification at that time. You were linked to fight then. What do you think of him?
Well, many times throughout my career, I didn't have the opportunity to have unification fights. I've delivered opportunity to guys, but the energy hasn't been returned back to me for various reasons. But, you know, God is good at the end of the day. And with Joseph Parker, you know, I think highly of him. He's an amazing human being, you know, as a man. And he's a great fighter as well. And it's going to be a remarkable feeling to finally be able to share the ring with him once and for all.
Well, Deontay, I've heard you refer to your power as a blessing and a curse. What does that mean?
I mean, it's a blessing because I have the ability to knock a single man out with one punch. You know, this is something that's been with me all my life, not something that's just been developed. And the curse has been that I'm able to do that. It allowed people to shy away from me, to become fearful of what may happen, you know, when they fight against me. And sometimes that can be harmful to the business of boxing, because as fans, they just want to see the best fight the best, no matter what, win, lose, or draw. And that's what it should be about. All these fighters up here, we're all warriors. And I always say it all the time, and I'll forever say it to the end of me, that we risk our lives for other entertainment, you know, and that right there is that in itself is just, I mean, it's just, you wouldn't know what it feels like unless you as a fighter and get in the ring, you know. Many people talk what they talk and they say what they say, but until you able to get in the ring and see what that feels like and go through all the training and all the ups and downs what come with that, and your personal life as well on top of that, it's a lot. It's a lot you have to deal with. It's a lot that you have to go through. But at the end of the day, man, you know, we do it for our fans. We do it for the love that we have for this business and to take care of our families.
One thing you said there, Deontay, you said about the power being a blessing and a curse. You said it's a curse because it can make other heavyweights shy away from you. Do you think any heavyweights on these two tables have ever shied away from a fight with Deontay Wilder?
You're so messy. But, you know, hey, I don't really have to say much. Y'all done heard me many times throughout the years, what I've been saying and what I've been talking about or whatever. So I don't think that I really have to necessarily just call out anything or point out any names or whatever, you know, at this moment in time. At this moment in time, my mind is solely set on Joseph Parker. That's it.
Shut your mouth.
That is a question that I actually have as well. Thank you, Derek Chisora. Do you plan on knocking out Joseph Parker? And if so, which round? And Joseph, you should be all ears here.
That's what I come to do, you know, and that's my only mission to come to do. When I look at the heavyweight division, that's what, you know, a win is a good thing. It's just like basketball, you know. I can shoot threes, I can shoot twos, but it ain't nothing like a dunk for me. You know, everybody different. Everybody got their own, you know, personal thing that they like to do, but that's what I'm known for. And not just in boxing, in real life as well, you know what I mean? So I'm glad and I'm blessed to be able to bring it to something that means something. You know, it ain't just doing it for recreational. You know, we're doing it for a purpose, a reason. We all of us uplift people, we motivate, and we inspire people. And that's what I want to continue to do, to uplift, motivate, and inspire. And if anybody get inspiration off of me knocking people out and seeing that, the excitement, that's what I'm here to do, you know. I mean well for everyone, but we have a job to do at the end of the day.
One final thing, Deontay, look, a fight that you have been linked to for so many years. I understand Joseph Parker is your next fight, but I can't ignore that I have yourself there and I have Anthony Joshua here, a fight that has been linked for so long. You talked about having to get a plane to come over here and speak to Anthony Joshua. Do you have anything to say to him here at this press conference table?
You know, it's good to be in the same room with him, to see him face to face, you know. It's been a long time coming. I wish you nothing but the best, bro. And hopefully soon we can get it on in the ring and get the people what they want, once and for all. But I wish you nothing but the best, even if it doesn't happen. But I believe it's going to happen. I believe it will. It's about that time. But even if it don't, I wish you nothing but the best, nothing less.
Thank you, Deontay. Okay, let's finish up with Frank Warren. Frank, this has certainly whet the appetite here today. So many great fights coming up December 23rd. Give us your final thoughts.
Well, look, this is a magnificent card. You've got these warriors on here, you know, some of the best fighters in the world, a lot of big guys here. And this is what it's all about. This is what big-time boxing is all about. This is about giving the fights to the fans, making them happen, and they're happening. And from this, hopefully some other fights that the fans want to see will happen. We've got the two best heavyweights in the world are going to be fighting for the unifying the title fairly soon, and you'll hear more about that. In the meantime, you've got two guys here in Otto Wallin and in Joseph Parker who could upset the fight, well, I think, which is the next fight everybody wants to see, and that's AJ and Deontay. That's the fight we want to see, but will it get ruined? Are these guys going to ruin everybody's dream of seeing that fight? I know these two fighters definitely want it and want to get it on, so we will see. Everything is on the line with this. Everything is on the line. These are real, proper fights, proper challenges for everyone. And at the end of the day, as I always say, it'll be the fans who benefit. And His Excellency sitting over there, it is down to his vision, the vision that he had and the wherewithal to make this happen. And me as a boxing fan, I applaud him for it.
Thank you very much, Frank. Thank you to everyone who has joined us today and said their bit. And it's December 23rd. Did you want to say something else?
One more thing, and I would say this because I'm his dad, and George Warren, and as Eddie said earlier, he's been, and all the guys up here, he's worked very hard with the team behind the scenes, and he doesn't like too much getting up front. He should do, because he does more than I do, that's for sure. But anyway, this is going to be an event that everybody's going to be proud of, and he had a big part in it.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, George, as well. December 23rd, it is unprecedented, it is historic, it is unrivaled. We continue Riyadh season with the Day of Reckoning. Very shortly, we'll get a big group photo down the front here, and at this point, we would like to welcome to the stage the Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh.
Okay.
Okay, so that concludes the press conference. We're going to have a big group photo down the bottom, as Dev said there, but I think there will be some face-offs as well. And Fabio, that got interesting in stages, didn't it? Particularly when Jarrell Miller started firing off. I know for a fact that when him and Anthony Joshua had to spend some time together before the fight that never happened, of course, in New York in 2019, it ended up being Andy Ruiz. I know that Joshua found him very hard work, that he really did push buttons, and you could see that there, couldn't you? They're not fighting each other, but Miller, he got right underneath Anthony's skin.
Yeah, I think he obviously he came to get on him straight away. He did his bit with Dubois and then was happy to move on to AJ really. But he's always been that kind of character to bring a bit of spice to an event and kind of try and steal the show. I think, but he's trying to get his way back in. But yeah, he did set off AJ a bit there, which is interesting to see from AJ as well. To be honest, he's been a bit more vocal on his kind of, I think, truer feelings away towards other fighters in boxing and other people around the sport. So he's got a lot more to go on about as time's gone on.
Absolutely, I wasn't against it as I saw that unfolding. It's nice to see a bit of genuine bite on that top table. The photo being taken there, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh in the centre there with Frank Warren, Shelley Finkel just in front of his man Deontay Wilder, Eddie Hearn there as well, touching distance away from Frank Warren. They've never met before. Yeah. They've never met before. That's what we're told, Fabio. Anyway,
it's a really interesting one to see all of those faces all lined up together on one stage. Like you barely thought you'd get 2 or 3 of them together on the same card, let alone all of them lined up the way they are. And then you've got you tip it off with seeing Eddie and Frank within touching distance as well. It's crazy to see what can happen when big people come with big ideas and want to put together really entertaining shows.
Yeah, absolutely. So that photo just being broken up briefly. Anthony Joshua just strolling off to the left-hand side of the stage. It kind of brought to mind almost that incredible photo we saw at the end of October. Yeah. And I know that you went to the gala dinner the night before the fight, so you weren't there for very long, but you took your place there, had a look around. Joseph Parker was on that bill, of course, as well, and just the incredible names that were in attendance that night was something else, wasn't it? What was it like for you to be around all of that?
Yeah, I felt when I got home to my friends and family and stuff, I said it almost felt like it was illegal for me to be there. Like I was next to, I had like Cristiano Ronaldo over my shoulder to my left, Mike Tyson to my right, and just all of these names and faces, and I was like, how you take a second to look around and go, how have all of these people ended up in the same place? Like, why have they all got here? But then why am I here as well? I was quite high up, and I was like shuffled in next to all of these names, and I was like, I don't think I should be allowed to be within touching distance of some of these people. I don't know how this has managed to happen, but it was a surreal picture, something I think very historic for boxing, to see all of those faces, all of those names in one picture. I think someone actually totaled up all like of the wins and losses, like the records of all the fighters on there. I think it was over like 1,000 wins and like maybe 30 odd losses or something like that. It was something crazy, but it was a real special moment. That was, especially for me at that week, that is something that will stay with me forever.
Conversation going on between these two.
Wallen maybe taking a page out of Gerald Miller's book and seeing if he can get under his skin, see if he can aggravate AJ a bit. Maybe he's sensed that he's a bit on edge, a bit twitchy from the altercation from Miller in the press conference, and maybe he's trying to have a go himself.
Wallen's come in very buoyant mood. He had plenty to say to Joshua. He's very articulate, Otto Wallen. I met him quite a long time ago now when he was boxing on Sauerland Nordic Fight Nights. I remember having a conversation with Joey Gamache about him, and he said that he had some really good basic tools and that he could go far. And it was quite interesting to hear him say to Joshua, basically, I think you've peaked and you're going down the other side of the hill. That's quite bold. And here's Jarrell Miller up against Daniel Dubois. In terms of a talk-off, there was only ever going to be one winner there, wasn't there, really? Because Jarrell Miller has got a lot to say, and he's pretty accomplished at saying it.
They're two very, very different characters when it comes to being vocal, especially on a stage in front of a camera, on a press conference. So, yeah, there was only ever going to be one winner that time around, but it's very different when you get on the ring on the night, as a lot of people have found out, that it's all fun and games being able to talk up and say this and that, but the only thing that really matters is the fight on the night.
Daniel Dubois resplendent in his black tie. Jarrell Miller, as mentioned, was supposed to fight Anthony Joshua back in 2019, but tested positive for a number of banned substances and has done so again since then. So here is Ellis Zorro and Jay Opataya. As we were saying before, this is obviously a very difficult task for Ellis Zorro. Kept quite close counsel, didn't he, on the top table? Didn't say too much. Opataya is a guy who is bursting with confidence. If you're Ellis Zorro, what I find about fighters is that you are all very realistic. You have an acceptance of what can happen in the boxing ring, because if you don't, if you live in denial, that's a dangerous thing.
Definitely.
He's got to strike this difficult balance, Ellis, hasn't he, between being realistic and knowing the threat in front of him, but also believing that he can actually win.
Yeah, you have to have a bit of both, don't you? You always have to be mindful of your opponent, of your level versus their level. And look, Jay Opataya has obviously reached different heights compared to Ellis, but that in itself does not mean that he can't win the fight, that he hasn't got a chance in the fight at all. And I think that's the belief in himself, that he thinks, look, all I need is my one opportunity, my one shot, and to do this. Because we've seen it, especially in boxing, is something you see time and time again, is the almost Cinderella story of the man that comes out of nowhere and gets the win that he was never expected to get. Andy Ruiz, for a prime example. It can be done.
Lyndon Arthur finds himself in a similar situation against Dimitri Bivol. As Andy Lee pointed out, Lyndon Arthur has operated at a good level. He's IBO champion. He's been in with Anthony Yard a couple of times. Obviously got the win the first time around, but Bivol, by most people's reckoning, well, it's either him or Beterbiev. Obviously, they have all 4 belts. They're the 2 top guys in that division. But the job he did on Canelo Bivol really took him to another level. I enjoyed hearing from Mark Demori, I must admit. He was fighting Filip Hrgović because he said, look, I'm always looking to try and puncture people's spleens or something along
quite
those lines.
descriptive.
It was very vivid, wasn't it? But as he said, you get these opportunities. And what he's not going to do is wake up the next morning and wonder what might have happened if he let his hands go. He's not going to do that.
Yeah, I think with him at least, you know that he's just going to put it all on the line. However which way, if he needs to stick it on him and turn it into some sort of firefight, again, it's a realisation of your level compared to your opponents, but still the self-belief of, hey, look, I can do a job here. I just need the right chance and the right moment and it can get done.
Well, what he's not looking to do is take too many risks at the minute, Hrgović, because he's got that IBF mandatory spot that he's waiting for, as he outlined on the top table. Joining us, Ellis Zorro. We were just talking about the task that you've got on hand on December the 23rd against Jay Opetaia. We know about him. We know the reputation he's got. We know the performance he put in against Jordan Thompson. I mean, Fabio was just saying, in boxing, you all have to have this realisation or acceptance as fighters of what can happen in there. There's no point living in denial, particularly in the heavier weights. You've got to strike that balance between knowing the threat he poses, but believing in yourself.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just not giving it that much thought. 2 arms, 2 legs at the end of the day. I'm not overlooking him or underlooking him or whatever like that. I know what he brings to the table. I'm 31 years old. This is why I'm in the sport. I'm a prize fighter. The card doesn't get any bigger than this. It's a big opportunity for me, and I think it will bring the best out of me, to be honest.
And that's probably, I think, the best way to go about this is this has come together at fairly short notice, and sometimes that's not a bad thing, is it? Because, as you say yourself there, you don't want to be obsessing about things too much.
Yeah, literally, I found out 5 days ago. And like I said, I can't express enough. It's just a boxing match at the end of the day. I got 6 weeks' notice, so I'll put all the work in camp, and that's it.
You see, this is why I'm not a boxer. It's one of the many reasons why I'm not a boxer, because I like to obsess about things and go far too deep. But yeah, I think that's a sensible policy. Jarrell Miller joins us on the end of the desk there. Jarrell, you can always be relied upon. You can always be relied upon to
start some shit.
Rile people up. I was going to say, yeah, but that'll do just as nicely at press conferences, and that's exactly what happened there. Were you a little bit surprised that people bit in the way that they did?
No, you understand with boxing, like my man Dave Worley just said here, it's entertainment, but I'm a real fighter in and out the ring, I'm a warrior, and I can smell fear on somebody. So just saying little things to pick AJ off, and I knew that from the beginning that he's trying to be a persona, something he's really not. And I know how to get under people's skin, and I'm always gonna be able to do that. So until he mans up and fight me one day, I'm gonna do it every time I see him. I'm just that kind of guy. I'm a bully, 24/7, all day, all night.
So with regards to Daniel Dubois, you mentioned it there. You mentioned the Joyce fight. You mentioned the way the fight finished against Alexander Usyk. Correct. Do you feel that is a weakness in his boxing DNA, if you like?
I think I can ask any fighter that, I think I can ask any fighter that. I can ask a combo champ right here. Do we see Dubois' weakness as a quitter?
That's a very unfair question.
There's been some moments where, as a fighter, you may look at that as, if you was his opponent, you would look at that as a weakness. There's been some moments.
See, there you go. Point taken. It's certain things you just don't do as a fighter, man. You got to go on your shield, you get dropped, you get a broken jaw, you get up, you keep fighting. Dubois doesn't have that in him. And he's fighting a guy that's 330 pounds that comes forth to 80 punches around and goes to the body like hell. So, like I said, come December 23rd, I'm going to put his lights on and send his ass home.
And in terms of those 2 fights at the top of the card, Wilder against Barker and Joshua against Wallin, do you feel that Otto Wallin is a dangerous fight for Joshua?
Most definitely. I've sparred Otto Wallin plenty of times over the years. He moves very fundamental, knows the boxing ring, good general ring shape. He's not a quitter. He's not a Daniel Dubois. He's going to come to fight. He doesn't have one-punch knockout power, but he's very doable, has a good jab, man. Like I said, he shows ring generalship. So I don't think AJ picked off an easy fight with this guy, and we're going to see who's the best man to win. But, I'm rooting for Old Town because he trains in New York, and he's a hometown guy, too.
So what about Wilder against Barker? Barker's been nice and busy recently. He's got a new trainer in Andy Lee. They seem to be getting along well, and he certainly thinks, Andy, that the best is yet to come from Joseph. With Deontay, we all know about the power and the desire and the heart, basically, but he's been very inactive.
Yeah, I mean, you got to say, Deontay's very mental, too. There's times when we see
Deontay kind of mentally meant down by the stuff that he does when he takes a loss. I feel that Joseph Parker is faster, better boxer, but Deontay has that equalizer, which is that punching power. So I'm a Joseph Parker fan, So I'm hoping for my brother Joseph Parker, but hey, the best man still wins in that fight.
What do you make of his progress as a heavyweight these days?
Oh, David Adelaide is like my little brother. He was training with me in Florida. It was heartbreaking to see that fight go the way it did. But like I said, sometimes you have your day and sometimes the other guy's day, and I'm happy for him. I think he's doing really great. And I hope he keeps progressing, and hopefully one day, if I'm still around, me and him get it on too, and I can revenge David's loss. But at this point right now, I got my hands full with David Dubois, and I know your stablemates with Dylan White as well too. And I like the Rasta Pasta himself, but hopefully Dylan will get off the couch and I get to whoop his ass too.
Okay, what do you make of that? I think this might have given up the ghost.
We'll go for this one. Yeah, look, he obviously you know David quite well, so he was obviously backing him going into the fight. But you always would. If that's your person, that's someone you've been around. You're always going to support them going into it. So I just did my job on the night, and he's looking to do the same against Daniel, my fellow countryman as well. So look, we're all boxers at the end of the day. We're here to just do a job. It's no big deal. You win, you lose, you move up, and you keep moving forward.
Okay, I got to recant on that one. It's a job. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Where I come from, if I lose, my whole block is going to clown me. So I can't go back to Brooklyn with no losses, bro. I can't.
Okay, well, we'll let you go. Thanks for joining us. Always entertaining. We'll catch you down the road in Saudi in a few weeks' time. Jarrell Miller,
thank you.
Thanks very much for your company. Always interesting, isn't it, to speak to people who are further down the road than you? A lot has happened to him in his career, not all of it good, as I outlined when we were looking at the face-offs there. But I thought you did very well, actually, in Saudi when it came to the mind games aspect of things with David Adelaide. So we have Deontay Wilder's trainer has come to join us, Malik Scott.
How you doing, brother?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well. Great to see Deontay in the UK. The last time I saw him here, I was sitting just behind him at Wembley Stadium for Anthony Joshua against Vladimir Klitschko, and I was hoping at that point that fight might get made and we would see the pair of them just across the road at Wembley before too long. They're on the same card, not fighting each other. What are your initial thoughts on that?
The business of boxing took over as far as that aspect is concerned. But at the same time, they're trying to give the world, you could say the promoters and your excellency is even trying to give the world, you can say, a taste of what's coming. And what's coming is the biggest fights in the heavyweight division. This is, in my opinion, a very marquee second starter following the Fury and Ngannou. So people could look forward to, first things first, these guys, we have to handle Parker. Josh will have to handle Wilder, and then we could talk about really seeing, for a fact, Deontay Wilder knocking Anthony Joshua out.
One thing I do wonder about any fighter when they're, moving into their 30s and their mid-30s. I was at that fight against Fury, the third fight.
Yes.
Unbelievable fight. I mean, I was gobsmacked by the whole thing, but particularly after what happened in the second fight, for Deontay to just come back seemingly like nothing had happened and just swing until his last breath was amazing. Yeah. But that could take a lot away from a fighter. I mean, how's he looking in the gym? Because he's only had one round since then.
He's looking good in the gym, and I agree with you with that. But I would have to, the only thing I also believe concerning what you just said was I believe a multiple of fights like that take a toll on a fighter. He had 3 fights with Fury. The first fight was a draw. The second fight, it took a toll on him. The third fight was another toll. But if you really look at it, Deontay Wilder, besides the Fury fights, he hasn't taken that much, you can say, offense input, concerning taking punishment that a lot of fighters take. So his body is still fresh. He's a young 38-year-old. He's the hardest puncher in the history of the sport, which means a lot of his fights haven't gone the distance. So that means the wear and tear is not really on his body. It's just all about him staying disciplined and doing what he has to do.
A lot of the question marks at the moment, I think, around Wilder will be the time out of the ring and under the lights, because we know it's a different feeling. He's had one round over quite a substantial amount of time compared to Parker, who's been in the ring quite a bit as of late. Is that any sort of, I wouldn't go as far as saying concern, but is it a point you're looking at? Is there a way you're addressing that in any sense, or?
The best way to address it, in my opinion, is not even in my opinion. To me, it's a natural fact. that these fighters, even when they don't have fights coming up and the inactivity is kicking in from a business aspect, you got to be training 3, 4, or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
You have to stay active. And one thing about me, when a fighter is not in the gym, he still get boxing from me. So Deontay is always talking about the craft, always strategizing. And when he's not on having fights, he's training 3 to 4 times a week. And then when we get the call, and the call is suitable and the revenue makes sense and it's big time boxing like we're at now, then we back in the gym full speed like we're doing for December 23rd.
He touched on it up on the stage, and it's something I'd love to ask him actually. So hopefully he will make his way up here. But you two, he talked about basically the kind of mentality it takes to be a knockout merchant in the heavyweight division, because boxing's dangerous. We know that it takes a massive commitment, but to commit to that particular kind of Assassin's Creed, you might like to call it, that's a whole other level. It's that acceptance almost of, I'm going to try and knock you out, you're going to try and knock me out, let's go. I mean, it's a very particular thing, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with dangerous punches. Like, I would even say AJ is a dangerous punch. He's just not as much dangerous punch as Deontay Wilder. And I judge that off of what I see Deontay do with 20 ounces on, 18 ounces on, and everything, and the damage he does to guys. So being in this noble art is a beautiful thing, but these fighters' life is on the line. That's why it's really hard for me to go to fight parties, because I'm very defensive when it comes to people that don't box, talking trash about people that actually box, because I'm very sensitive about boxers, you could say, in that sense, and protecting the sport coming from a judging standpoint. But it's this noble art. It's the greatest show on earth, and it's either you get me or I get you, and whoever strategizes the most and stay disciplined and hold themselves accountable the most are the ones who usually see the light at the tunnel. And that's what we're looking forward to doing December 23rd. Seeing a good light, another knockout, violent light at the tunnel being distributed on Joseph Parker.
How do you find that? I mean, you're kind of earlier in your career, but you're at a very, very good level now, and acceptance is probably the right word. You're absolutely determined it's not going to be you, but it could be you.
That's always the word I was going to use, was acceptance. You have to, even before you have your first ever fight, before you get in the ring the first ever time, you have to sit there and almost have a conversation with yourself and say, look, this could go south. I could be the one sparked out on the floor. But I think the thing about boxers maybe that makes us a bit different, or a little bit loose, is that we know that if we're the ones to get the win, it feels so much better. It's worth the risk. It's worth rolling the dice and seeing how you come out. And for us as fighters, for us as boxers, we live for that moment of, especially in my career or some of the fights I've had, the best moments you've seen for me are when they've been a bit tasty or when it's been a bit uncomfortable, and that little switch goes in your head and you're like, okay, cool, here we go. I'm gonna double down now and put on a show.
No, it's fascinating, that kind of ability to compartmentalise, if you like, to say to yourself, admit this could happen to me, but by the same token, it's definitely not going to happen to me. It takes a very particular type of person to be able to do that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, a lot of it depends on your preparation, your sacrifices, and everything you gave up. The first time I met this young man, it was in Ukraine. I don't know how many fights you had. How many fights you had around that time?
I had about 5 or 6 by then.
Professional fights, not a big amateur career, and he came there to box Alexander Usyk. After the first day I watched him box Alexander Usyk, I was very impressed. Years went on, and as you can see, he set the bar very high, not just for his opposition, but for himself. So I wanted to tell you, because I'm just seeing you in person, I'm extremely proud
Appreciate
of you,
it, brother. Thank you,
Continue to do what you do, and yeah, I'm extremely proud of you, man.
Well, he turned up to that sparring camp with Usyk by himself, which people don't generally do. You know, they usually take.
I didn't know what to do. It was my first one. I was like, they asked for me, I'm here. Let's go.
That was your first camp, wasn't it?
Yeah, my first one. My first one. So I rolled up and I got stuck in. And I think again, us as boxers and fighters, that's the best thing we're best at, is just getting in and going, look, I'm gonna figure this out as I go along.
Just before we let you go, let's kind of veer things back to the 23rd of December. I could talk about this stuff all day.
Yeah.
Parker, as we say, he's a threat. You're not looking past him. You can't look past him. In terms of the whole card and the whole event, it's pretty extraordinary, isn't it, really? Because we thought we knew what was going to happen on December the 23rd. We thought it was Fury Usyk. We are going to get that, but not on that date. And this has all come together so quickly in a way that just never normally happens.
Yeah. If the world was waiting on something and it wasn't going to happen, right? So we're going to say the world was waiting on Fury and Usyk, right? And that was something to look forward to. Well, to me, this is a perfect card, a beyond perfect card to let the world have something until they get to the fight that they really, really want. This card right here, it reminds me of the days of when a certain promoter used to throw big cards and 8 and 9 world championship fights used to be on one card. But in my opinion, this is better because it's basically all heavyweights. Bivol is on the card. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the card is so big that people that may not even know about the card, they won't even know that he's on it because there's so many high-level names in the heavyweight division that's fighting each other. And I'm happy to be a part of it. I have the most dangerous man on the planet that's going to steal this show, and I'm looking forward to that December 23rd, which is, we all know, Deontay Wilder.
Okay, Malik Scott, thanks very much.
Thank you, brother.
Very much enjoyed talking to you. We'll let you go. I'm sure you're in high demand elsewhere. Lots of media milling around here, as there will be for a good amount of time yet before things wind up. And always fascinating to talk to the person who's going to have to strategise and come up with a plan. As we said before, you're the man in the arena. You're the one who has to try and execute it. But you need someone on your shoulder who you trust completely that what they're telling you is the right thing. And so you've got that aspect, which is the gym, and then you've got the other aspect, which is on the night, which again, you know, you have to be absolutely confident in between rounds if things are looking a bit shaky that what they're telling you is the right thing.
Yeah, I think that's why it's so crucial to not only have a trainer or a coach that you think is good or knowledgeable or smart, but one that you trust as well, because ultimately I'm giving my life to you. And when I step in that ring, whether things go south and you maybe have to chuck the towel in or however, I have to trust that you care about me enough to put the game plan in place or to turn things on. How you doing, bro?
Okay, so Daniel Dubois.
I have to trust you that you've put things together enough that, hey, if things go south, you've still got my back in there.
That's it. There's a huge burden of responsibility on trainers, to be honest with you. So Daniel Dubois.
Oh yeah.
That got quite interesting, didn't it? Were you expecting that? Jarrell Miller is not.
Of course you are. You have to, innit? He's that type of guy, and he's come over. He's not going to be quiet. He has to talk the talk. So that's all good, man. Hey?
Just move slightly closer to us. It didn't seem to bother you at all.
Nah. I'm used to that now, and I'm in this game in a while now, you know, and I've gathered experience, and so now I need to put it to work and show that I've learned from certain things that have happened to me in my past, and you know, go out there and do the business.
I mean, did what he said to you? I can't repeat it, but basically, what he accused you of being a quitter. Basically, is what he did, didn't he? Yeah. I mean, that's what you said. You said it. Does that just wash off you, or does it rile you up?
I feel many different emotions, but I can't wait for this fight. Most of all, I'm ready to go out there and let it all out, because after the last fight and certain things that happened before the fight, I need to just let it all out of me, all the frustration.
So you got you saying you got a lot of built up frustrating energy and stuff that you need to let out after that the unfortunate loss to Alexander Usyk. Yeah. But after that there was some talk after, a lot of people saying the same thing that Miller said out there, but you want to go into this fight and
I'm not at all
prove them wrong?
Yeah, not fazed by nothing. This is boxing. Right now I need to get in the mode and in killer mindset and just go out there to destroy him, and that's all my mind.
Well, thanks very much. Thanks for joining us. We will catch you. We will catch you down the road. Jay Opataya is just off camera. If he could just step in and join us.
How about
Jay Opataya,
how's things, Joe?
IBF Cruiserweight World Champion, putting his title on the line against Ellis Oro, taking this one like everybody on this card pretty much at fairly short notice. We've seen you in London recently with that performance against Jordan Thompson. It was a long time out of the ring before that due to the double jaw fracture against Maris Breedis, which says a lot about the kind of fight that was and the kind of fighter you are. How much are you looking forward to this, basically?
Man, I'm over the moon, bro. To be on an awesome card like this, packed with awesome fighters, you know, I'm pumped. I can't wait. 23rd of December, it's on. Let's go.
Do you feel that this is the first kind of step you could take towards next year maybe securing those unifications that you want and showing everybody for absolutely certain who's boss?
Yeah, for sure. You know, if it was up to me, I'd have a unification fight on the 23rd, but no one wanted to take it. We had Breedis, you know, who's also a hard fight. I believe Breedis is a hard fight, but you know, he denied the fight for the 23rd. He said he wouldn't be ready. So they put someone else in front of me, so that's who I got to take out. You know what I mean? I'm here on a mission. I'm here to win these fights, and yeah, next year I want to win the rest of the belts.
Does it feel really good too to be flying the flag for Australia? Because you look at Australian boxing yourself, you look at Tim Tszyu, he's flying high these days, the Maloney's, George Kambosos, what he's achieved recently. The sport's, you know, it's doing well in Australia.
For sure, man. It's a crazy feeling, you know, even being up there with all those big boys, and then, you know, I'm just a little kid from Australia. I just grinded his ass off, and now I'm up there, you know. But I always knew this time was coming. You know, I always knew these big fights were coming, fighting on these big cards. You know, I was just sitting up there rubbing my hand going, you know, it's about time I'm here. You know, I deserve to be here. So, you know, I'm just, honestly, man, I've got goosebumps. I'm excited to be a part of such a massive card, big platform, and I'll put on another show.
Does it feel like because it's obvious that you've got a bit of a chip on the shoulder towards the boxing, that you feel like you've been overlooked for quite a time, where you've got the skills to really deliver? Does it feel like a justification, vindication to be on a massive show like this and be a part of it, of a massive stage to try and showcase your abilities?
Yeah, it is. It's a huge, you know, platform to showcase my abilities. You know, I did have that chip on my shoulder coming into the last fight in London, but you know, I've only fought twice with the world title. You know, I won it and then I defended it once, and now I'm on a massive card like this. So, you know, I'm training hard, I'm working hard, and I'm performing well. So it's all just, everything's falling into place.
It's kind of amazing, your story, really, because I saw you at the World Youth Championships in Armenia in 2012.
Yeah.
I was at that tournament, and then a few months later you were at the Olympics. You weren't really old enough to go to the Olympics. I think, well, you were because you were allowed to, but I think they changed the rules subsequently.
Yeah, they've changed.
You were 16 at the time, so I mean, you've been doing this a really long time at a very high level.
Man, I've been boxing my whole life, you know what I mean, and that's why I'm up there, bro. Like, I'm about time. You know, I've been a young kid fighting at world championships. I've won world championships. I've just been waiting for this time, you know. I always knew these big world title fights were coming, defending titles, then fighting for unification fights. So it's just around the corner now, and I can't wait. I'm excited.
And it'll be a new experience as well, go to a different country to box in. Fabio will be able to tell you all about that. He was there at the end of October, and what we noticed there, and it'll be the same in December, is the scale of the spectacle. The investment in the whole thing is mind-blowing, to be honest with you. You'll see it day by day during fight week. It's like nothing I'd ever seen before. I mean, is that something that you particularly look forward to, that will get the juices flowing even more?
Man, I'm a fighter. All I focus about is fighting. You know what I mean? All the bells and whistles, all everywhere. That's all the outside noise I try not to look at. You know what I mean? I just focus on getting the job done 23rd of December, and that's it.
Are you a fighter that when you get there, when you get through the fight week, will you, because it will be such a big event, it will be such a spectacle, will you allow yourself that little moment to look around and be like, yeah, I'm here, like I'm really, this is a big moment for me to really soak in and give yourself that little bit of, yeah, hang on, I'm doing something well here? Or are you just plain focus all the way, and then maybe after you give yourself a little pat on the back?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, you know, like I've rocked up to a few arenas and stuff, like even the OVO arena, you know, like I said, a little kid from the Central Coast back in Australia, coming here, selling out OVO Stadium. It's a massive thing, and sometimes I am like, wow, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I do the hard work. Yeah. I'm in the gym grinding. So I look around and I'm like, yeah, like I deserve this. I earned this.
Yeah, it's
you know
half
what I
and
mean?
half.
This shit ain't, I didn't just walk in here and it was just given. You know what I mean? I've been sacrificing my whole life to get here, you know what I mean? First fight at 8 years old and have fought my whole life. So it's just about time, you know? I keep saying it, but I'm excited, you know? I've been waiting for times like this for a long time.
Okay, thanks very much. We'll let you go.
Appreciate it.
Great to talk to you. We'll see you in a few weeks. Best of luck. Joe Pataya, IBF Cruiserweight champion. Frank Warren down there, just holding court with the assembled press. Enjoyed himself up on the top table there, Frank. You know, it was amazing in Riyadh when you were there, when we were both there last time, for the grand entrances when we saw Frank Warren and Bob Arum. stroll in side by side, two Hall of Fame promoters, and it was quite a visual, wasn't it? But they were both, again, just clear that this is something new. This is something that we haven't really seen before, and it just shows in this business, no matter how long you've been doing it, it could always surprise you.
Yeah, boxing can always come up with something new, just as when you kind of feel like you may have seen it, and in their cases, between Bob and Frank may have done it all at the same time, it can throw you something new. And I think maybe even both of them sat there for a second and went, "Car, this is something a bit different." As they went through the fight week, as they saw how big the Saudis made the event and how much of a spectacle they made out of it, I think they would have sat there themselves and gone, actually, this is, even for me, this is something new.
It was interesting talking to Jay Opetaia there, because sometimes you kind of see someone from a distance and you get a little bit of a take, a little bit of a feeling on what you think they might be like, and he wasn't wildly different from how I thought he would be, but he's just got that mentality, hasn't he, whereby it's taken a long time for him to get here and he's not going to give it up. You know, people talk about when you become champion, you need to keep that challenger mentality. I don't feel like he's going to have a problem with that.
No, he's a very intense character as well. You can tell by the way when he speaks, and he speaks about how long he's been boxing, how much he's done previously, how much he's earned it all. You can really feel it from him when he speaks that, hey, he's like, no, I know I've just arrived in front of your eyes maybe, but I've been here, I've been doing this, and this is all well deserved for me. And you can feel that come across when he speaks.
You absolutely can. You absolutely can. I'll just have a little look behind me to see who is still remaining in Wembley Arena. The backdrop there, absolutely sensational. Does remind me of a good few things that we saw during fight week over in Riyadh at the end of October. This has all been pulled together, as we've been saying, ad nauseam really, but you know, it bears repeating at very, very short notice in a ridiculously short amount of time really by normal standards. And it's those co-main events that are getting most of the attention, but there are lots of other good fights on the card as well. But just interesting hearing earlier on from Malik Scott about how he feels Deontay Wilder has still got plenty left. And I think it was a very valid point he made, actually, which was that those two fights against Fury, 2 and 3, I mean, one was 12 rounds. Fury, the first fight was 12 rounds. But the second one, he I'll say it quietly in case you can hear me, he took a hiding, frankly, didn't he? And then in the third fight, you know, it was absolutely brutal stuff. And in the end, he collapsed through exhaustion in the 11th round. But those are really the only two where it's been like that. And that's true, isn't it?
Yeah, he makes a fair point. They are some of the most recent fights. But I think the wear and tear takes a toll if it's consistent over time and over your career. There's certain fighters you see, or you know, their style is just wear their heart on the sleeve, put it all on the line, and you pretty much know that every fight they have, it's going to be a bit of a war. They're going to take some damage of some sort that's going to be relatively long lasting. Whereas Wilder's not necessarily like that. He has had a few, but most times he's got his opponents out and cleaned them out in pretty sharp fashion.
He has, and he's just got this amazing kind of elasticity, hasn't he, whereby he can just sling shots in from all sorts of angles without seemingly loading up on anything. And carries the power right to the end of the punch as well. That's something that really stands out with him. It's funny because when you look at boxing mechanics, it can be quite an odd thing, and you're not, in a way, you're not that dissimilar yourself. You kind of throw your hands when you're off balance a bit sometimes, and you're kind of in the wrong place. But when you land, that power's still there. I mean, it's kind of, some people, as we describe it in boxing, are naturally heavy-handed. I think you have some of that.
Yeah,
I mean, he definitely does.
It carries
I think you
through.
do.
I think we almost probably share some similarities, like when we were speaking to Andy Lee about his Wilder's overall style and the way he looks is quite unorthodox, and probably a bit similar with myself. Me starting from not a strong amateur background at all, so picking up things along the way that aren't orthodox or conventional, but still being able to transfer that weight, that power through the shot, and it carry through. And I think Wilder carries a lot of those properties as well, because when you see him fight, he throws shots from very interesting angles, you might see, and the way he goes about putting his work together can be sometimes very obscure and a bit different, but when it lands, his opponents always very much know about it.
100% they do, and that's what we expect to see when we head over to Riyadh in Saudi Arabia on December the 23rd. He's a man who supplies knockouts. He's done it his entire career. That's what he'll be looking to do to Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker will have other ideas. Anthony Joshua, fresh off a good knockout himself against Robert Helenius. You felt like he needed that. He'll be looking to revisit that on Otto Wallin. Again, the Swedish fighter will have other ideas. There's plenty of other really good fights on the card as well. The day of reckoning heading our way on the 23rd of December. Well, thanks very much for your company. Thanks, Fabio. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you for the last couple of hours or so. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We will catch you again next time.